We'll call the August 28, 2025 O'Fallon City Council workshop to order. Roll call, Katie.
Mayor Hennessy.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Councilmember Roth.
He's excused.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Councilmember Thompson. Present. Councilmember Bibb.
Present.
Councilmember Cascella.
Present.
Councilmember Kewen.
Present.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember Cook. Councilmember Ragsdale.
Present.
All right, folks, you have an agenda in front of you. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve, Bibb.
Cascella.
Motion by Councilman Bibb, second by Councilman Cascella. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Discussion of council agenda items. Best presented to you guys, for Bill 7781, which is the providing for levying of a property tax. And Mr. O'Keefe, do you want to explain why we're going to a .1?
Yes, sir. The Board of Equalization has finished its reconsideration of challenges to the assessed values of property and just has notified the finance director of the revised assessed value for property for tax purposes in the city. That necessitated a minor change in the rate of tax, which is reflected in the .1 version of the bill. We are identifying it as a separate version so that, since we're dealing with property taxes, if anybody looks at the packet as originally distributed and wonders why the bill as adopted is different, we're going to title it differently just for record-keeping purposes. But will be introduced as a .1. It will not be necessary to do an amendment, and Ms. Boschert will explain the nitty and the gritty details of exactly what the changes are in incredible detail during the public hearing.
Questions on that? All right, anything else on the agenda you folks want to talk about? Seeing none, do I have a motion second to approve the City Council Workshop meeting minutes of August 14th, 2025?
Cascella.
Wexler.
Motion by Councilman Cascella, second by Councilman Wexler. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on the discussion is artwork in the roundabouts presentation. Mr. DeBell.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Tonight on your agenda for the regular meeting, we have a resolution authorizing staff to spend up to $60,000 on the work in the center of the roundabout at Weldon Springs and Crusher Road. I'm going to start by doing something I should never, ever do and promise you we are not going to spend all $60,000. And I'm saying that and my heart is beating as I say it. But the reason, and I'll go through what the money's going to go to, but the reason we're asking for $60,000 is that is a project that has to be done at one time. And if something were to go wrong and we had to access extra money, we would not have the ability to come back to you and say, hey, we need another $5,000 here. So we gave ourselves a cushion to prevent that from happening. So that's why the $60,000 is. Now I'll go through what you get for your $60,000. Less than $60,000. Mr. Deerdorf came here a couple meetings ago and showed you his landscape plan for the property. His cost at that time was approximately $25,000. We think that that is more than enough to cover that part of it. The one piece he did not have was the center artwork. So going forward with our artwork, we are going to work with the Cultural Arts Committee, try to look at artwork from around the country, possibly commission pieces and all that. But for this one, we don't have the time to do that. So in order to get it installed when the roundabout opens. So we looked at basically the artwork the Cultural Arts Commission has already approved through our Shape of Community. We had one piece that really fits very well in this center, and that is called Learning Curve. It's over at Civic Park near Krekel Civic Center, if you've seen it. We are asking for permission, essentially, to purchase this piece of art for the center roundabout. We will be able then to move it, and that cost would be included in that amount of money, from the location it is right now to the Weldon Springs roundabout. At the same time, Bob's doing the landscaping, which would prevent us from doing damage to it and incurring extra costs down the road. So we have had some preliminary conversations with the artist. We are quite confident we can come to an agreement in price that will fit within our budget. And we're basically just asking for a head nod and then ultimately the approval of the resolution to go forward with this plan. I'm going to come back to the Cultural Arts Commission on next Wednesday, show them this as well, but then also kind of tell them the long-term plan about what we're going to do going forward and how we're going to engage with them to try to keep them, help them make the decisions going forward.
Do we have any idea what we're going to put in its place at Krekel?
We actually won't fill that spot right now because that was going to be replaced early next year anyway, because that's when we go out for the next shape of community rotation. So the timing's actually pretty good. It'll basically miss the winter and early spring without our work there.
Okay, Mr. Snowden.
Thank you. Tom, for anybody that may not have seen that, can you describe the height, the width, basically how big that is? The picture doesn't do it justice.
Right. The height is approximately 14 feet, give or take. The base is, I believe it's an 8-foot diameter on that base right there, on that circular base at the bottom, which the block in the center of the roundabout is 8 foot by 8 foot. So it actually is a perfect fit. It will actually extend, the top will actually extend over that 8 foot by 8 foot. So it kind of will do one of those as it goes out. So size-wise, it should fit perfectly. Of course, this is the first one we've done. We're going to learn from it, and that'll help make our decisions in the future, too, and what we look for.
You still have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Tom, I know you know this, but for everyone watching or here in the room, we also looked at the one that's at O'Day Park right now, and it would have been similar, but it is much smaller. It's shorter, and it's on about 4 foot by 4 foot base, and so we purposely chose not to take that one or to consider that one because it just didn't fit the size. Is that accurate?
That's absolutely true. Actually, this summer I was taking my kid to camp down there, and I'm like, oh, that one's perfect. That's the one we should use. And I kept saying that over and over again. And then we looked at the nitty gritty. It's like, no, that thing's going to be so small in that area because it's still my favorite piece. But and in doing so, we actually looked at, after that, all of the shape of community artwork that we have. And this is the one that certainly fits best in that location.
Amanda?
How much did you say this was?
We will have to negotiate with the artists on that, but we're comfortable it'll fit within our budget.
Thank you, Mayor. Question about, and I know that I missed the workshop when we talked about all of this, but was there any discussion or concern about this being like in the way of will because of its size, is it going to get in the way of like line of sight and things like that for the drivers?
So to answer that question, the engineers could probably do a better job explaining this than I can, but really you actually want that in a roundabout because that helps slow traffic as it comes into the roundabout and helps people focus where they need to be focusing, which is on to their left rather than straight in front of them. We don't really want them coming up and looking straight down to the road there because then they're not looking where they need to look. And that's when somebody comes and they hit them without realizing they're there. So that's why we want a focal point in the middle, and we'd prefer to have something that does somewhat at least interfere with the line of sight.
Thank you.
Michael? You have something?
I was just going to add to that if you go to places like Hamilton County, Indiana that had over 200 roundabouts, most all of them have something in the middle that you can't see through. So that's kind of established as what they're trying to get to.
Okay. Debbie?
And just to make sure, I know Mr. Deerdoff said that they're going to build like blocks or whatever to keep cars from going through and actually hitting this thing.
Yes, there'll be, you can kind of see in the picture here, and obviously this is a rendering, but there'll be large rocks around the area so that, God forbid, somebody does go through, they would hit a large rock that's going to stop them, but not be a wall that they're running into. So there'll be kind of that obstruction there to prevent somebody from going straight through, but hopefully also just stop the car and not worse than that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Wexler?
I don't recall. Was there landscaping lighting on all this?
Yes, there is lighting on this.
And will there also be lighting on the artwork?
Yes, sir. There'll be spotlights headed up. I think it's 4. I can't remember for sure, but from all corners hitting it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody have a problem with moving the artwork from Krekel to the roundabout. Anybody have a problem? Speak up or now, forever hold thy peace. There you go, bud.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Any other items for consideration? We're adjourned till 7:30. We'll call the August 28, 2025 O'Fallon City Council meeting to order. Roll call, Bess.
Mayor Hennessy.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Councilmember Roth.
He's excused.
Councilmember Boyer.
Present.
Councilmember Thompson.
Present.
Councilmember Bibb.
Present.
Councilmember Costello.
Present.
Councilmember Kewen.
Present.
Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
Councilmember Cook. Councilmember Ragsdale.
Everyone, please stand for the invocation by Police Chaplain Brandon Buford with Senior Pastor of Lighthouse Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Bibb.
It's good to see you. It's my honor to be here. I was thinking the other day, it's been about 15 years since I first stood behind here and prayed. That's a lot of prayers. And I think often about how to pray. I've prayed for needs. I pray for wisdom often for each one of you. But today, as I was thinking about today, the word that just kept coming to me was to bless. You've got the blessing of Aaron the priest that said, the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you. You have the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, theirs is the kingdom. Blessed are those who mourn, they shall be comforted. And so tonight, I know there's needs, and I do pray for those, but I just want to pray a blessing over you, over this community and this city, if you'd bow your heads. And Jesus, thank you for letting me be a part of this city, this community. God, they're my neighbors. They're the ones that I get to see out and about. And I pray blessing over them. I know many have needs. Many carry burdens and weights. Some, Lord, are sad. Some are angry. Some have sickness. And God, I ask that you would touch them. But I pray right now that over every citizen, over our entire council today, that you would bless them and you would touch them. Be with them, we pray. Every decision they make, everything that they debate or discuss today, I pray you give them that wisdom. But more than anything, I pray you continue to bless our great city. Keep your hand on it. Let your face shine upon us, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, you have an agenda in front of you. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve Ragsdale.
Second, Bibb.
Motion by Councilwoman Ragsdale, second by Councilman Bibb. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I have a couple things on the presiding office report. I'd like to have a motion to ratify my appointment of Mary Porter to serve on the Historic Preservation Commission as a non-voting member, filling the remainder of the unexpired term until April of 2026.
So move, Kewen.
Second, Costello.
Motion by Councilman Kuhn, second by Costello. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is upcoming Rail District Festival presented by Rachel Page with the O'Fallon Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Rachel?
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Page with the O'Fallon Chamber, and this is Zella. She's the CBO at the O'Fallon Chamber, Chief Baby Officer. I am here today to talk about the Rail District Festival that we have coming up on Saturday, September 6th, in the Rail District, which is, we're having it in Civic Park. It is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. There's tons of things to do at the event. DJ music, kids zone with inflatables, vendor booths, food trucks. The Krekel train will be there giving train rides. We will have free Bluebell ice cream at the event. We're also going to have special guests from your kids' favorite TV show. So if you're wondering who those guests might be, check the Rail District Festival Facebook page tomorrow because we'll be unveiling who those guests will be at the event. We also are going to have after parties this year as part of the Rail District Festival. So a huge part of the Rail District Festival is we're trying to show the community that the Rail District, which is Main Street O'Fallon, is an energy center and can be more of an energy center for the area. So Goodwood and North Main McDonald's will both be having after parties starting at 6 p.m. So definitely come out to those as well after the Rail District Festival. We do want to give a thanks to the City of O'Fallon, the OCVB, and the O'Fallon Community Foundation for helping us with this event and being such huge supporters of the Rail District Festival. This is an event that we want to have happen every single year, and being the second year of having it and having such huge support means a whole lot to the O'Fallon Chamber. And then, without further ado, there is a big event that's happening at the Rail District Festival at 3 p.m., and that is the baby crawl race. And we have a live demonstration of what the baby crawl race will look like. Could be a winning baby, could be a losing baby, but we're going to give it a shot, huh? We're going to show what it looks like. All right.
Oh, we can't. Oh, boy.
All right, you ready? All right, come on, Zella. No, this is the losing baby. Yay! This is what some of the babies do. A majority of them do this.
Winner!
So definitely come out on September 6th. You get to see this girl racing or not racing, I'm not really sure. But we will have a baby crawl race, and that is happening at 3 p.m. We have about 15 babies that are registered for that baby crawl race. So it's going to be a great time seeing who's the fastest baby in O'Fallon. And they received the 4-foot-tall trophy that was here. So thank you all so much.
Questions for Rachel?
Or Zella, she speaks a whole lot.
All right, congratulations, good luck. Next, we have citizens' comments. I have one person, Mr. Dienoff. Give us your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you very much, members of the City Council. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dienoff, public advocate, city public advocate, running for the City Council. Mailing address is P.O. Box 1535, right here in O'Fallon. A couple things I would like to go over the agenda. First of all, under the consent agenda, under City Council minutes for August 14th, I'm just astonished that not one of the 7 of you who voted for, or I'm sorry, 6 of you who voted for giving a city council member a $24 million law enforcement contract, that under our city charter, none of you had the gall or the audacity to put it on the ballot for a reconsideration. I was kind of saddened to see that when the city council agenda came out. It's amazing that we have somebody who is getting $15,000 to serve as a city councilman, as a public employee, a public elected official, and then he's going to get a huge bonus, stocks, and a huge payout for the $24 million in the law enforcement center. It's just sad that you gave your pal, Mr. Nathan Bibb, a handout and a huge contract. Number 7 on the agenda, resolution number A is kind of hidden. Gets looked over. It's for ready mix concrete, $77,000. I would ask the city council to recede and not hide contracts in the consent agenda. I think they're very important. Resolution B on the agenda is with Spire, Missouri, $252,000 to move some type of their facility out of the right-of-way. Well, I attend a lot of hearings in Jefferson City, and that state statute did not pass that governments were responsible for paying for facilities or utilities that are in the right-of-way. And so I'm not sure exactly why we're spending $252,000 of taxpayer money here. Resolution C, $255,000 for more security cameras. I thought we just got cameras just a few years ago, right here at the Municipal Center, at our parks, because they were unfortunately being vandalized. I thought that we just spent a bunch of money in cameras, and not to mention it's going to cost another $60,000 for switches. Resolution D on the agenda is $1,733,000 for a chemical feed improvement project to our deep water well. Exactly what are we getting for that type of money? Have the hard questions been asked by staff and by elected officials? Resolution E is $60,000 for landscaping and a decorative artwork in a roundabout.
You have 10 seconds.
And maintenance. I understand it's going to cost $25,000 instead of the $60,000. And the waiving of connection fees of $2,500 per home for Strawberry Farms is just ridiculous. They need to bring that type of maintenance. They should be responsible for those costs.
Your time is up, sir. We have no other speakers. Ward reports. Ward 1.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to say the parks are looking fantastic. Most of you know I got a little 2-year-old boy. We get out to a lot of the parks, even in our neighboring cities, and you just can't beat an O'Fallon park. So I would urge anybody looking for something to do outside, get into the parks. That's what I got. Thank you.
Ward 2.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just thinking about our former resident and good news spreader, or spreader of good news, Jamie Kronk, and thinking about something positive I could share this evening, and wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to city employee Randy Clark. He attended a neighborhood meeting for a neighborhood in our ward and was really helpful with all of the homeowners, and they went out of their way to let me know how much they appreciated him and how knowledgeable he was. So thank you, Randy, and yeah, keep up the good work.
Mr. Boyer.
Thank you. Happy Labor Day. This is a holiday coming up, so hopefully with this weather, you guys are out using the O'Fallon parks. Also next weekend, the 5th of September, the 5th, 6th, 7th, that's OTW, the O'Fallon Theater Works, is putting on The Curious Savage. So come on out and support the local theater. There's a lot of great talent here, and it's a great thing to do here. It's the next 2 weekends. Not this weekend, but the 2 following weekends. Thank you.
Ward 3.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day. Enjoy the weather and stay safe.
Mr. Bibb.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to wish Mr. Snowden a happy early birthday. And coming up on September 6th is 22 Strong. I think it's our 8th annual event. It's held at Frankie Martin's. It starts and ends there, but one of the beneficiaries is our very own Mid-America Veterans Museum. So I encourage people to come out. You can come walk a half a mile or 22 miles, either one. And I also want to wish everybody a happy and safe Labor Day. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Ward 4. Go ahead, Mr. Kewen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just, excuse me, wanted to say happy Labor Day to everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe and try to enjoy the weather outside as well. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I just also wanted to wish everyone a happy Labor Day. Sorry, I choked on something. This holiday, was born from the labor movement over a century ago, a movement that fought for fair wages and safer working places and for the rights that many of us often take for granted. So to all our union members and police officers and firefighters, nurses, teachers, and every worker who contributes to making O'Fallon a better place, thank you for your hard work is, the backbone of our community, and Labor Day is a reminder of how much your dedication matters. So thanks.
Ward 5.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing tonight that hasn't already been said. Thank you.
Linda.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the privilege of serving as the liaison for the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council, and we just had a meeting earlier this week, and I'm very excited that our next meeting on Tuesday, September 16th, will actually be the first televised meeting of this school year with the students. Conan has been doing a fantastic job of prepping the students and giving them some really good layouts. So if you're free, make sure you watch it on OFallonTV. We have such a great group of students that are involved in the MIAC program. We're encouraging them to talk about what they have going on in school, what activities they might be in, different things like that. But this group of students has actually been asking us for volunteer opportunities within the community, and for high school kids to want to do that just warms my heart. So I'm just thrilled with our MIAC students. Thank you.
You want to let them know who's doing the MCing for September 11th?
Well, of course. So we have two MIAC students who are going to be emceeing the 9/11 tribute that will be out back. And we have Ethan and Emily. And they are fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing both of them.
Okay. Brings us to City Administrator's report. Mr. Snowden.
Thank you, Mayor. Recently, I heard from a new O'Fallon resident named Marilyn who attended the women's self-defense class that our police department held last week. Marilyn wanted us to know how much she appreciated what she learned and wanted to thank the officers who taught the class. So a big thanks to Sergeant Wright, Sergeant Bloomfield, Officer Arns, Officer Grelly, and Officer Savant. And that's all I have for tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Brings us to old business. Brings to Bill 7776. Motion for second reading by title only.
Cook.
Motion by Councilwoman Cook, second.
Ragsdale.
Second by Councilwoman Ragsdale. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Bill number 7776, second reading and consideration for adoption, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit to the owners of Capital Group Incorporated to allow a contractor services office with outdoor storage in a C2 general business district under certain conditions on a certain tract of land located at 921 to 925 Highway K within the city of O'Fallon, Missouri.
Thank you. Motion final passage.
Cook.
Motion by Councilwoman Cook, second.
Ragsdale.
Second by Councilman Ragsdale. Questions or comments? Council members, cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
8 yes, 1 no. 7776 passed and becomes ordinance number
7238.
7238. Thank you, Bess. Brings to Bill 7777. Motion for second reading.
Kewen.
Motion by Councilman Kewen, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Bill number 7777, an ordinance approving a surface transportation block grant program agreement by and between Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission and the city of O'Fallon to reimburse a portion of the Mexico Road resurfacing and pedestrian improvements project in an amount not to exceed $1,566,924.
Thank you. Most final passage.
Kewen.
Councilman Kewen, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Questions or comments? Council members, please cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. 7777, 7777 passes and becomes ordinance number
7239.
7239. Thank you, Bess. Brings Bill 7778. Motion for second reading.
Kewen.
Motion by Councilman Kewen, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Bill number 7778, second reading and consideration for adoption, an ordinance amending Article 11 of Chapter 700 of the O'Fallon City Code relating to industrial wastes and pretreatment and adopting by reference technical codes relating to the same subject.
Thank you. Most final passage.
Kewen.
Motion by Councilman Kewen, second.
Wexler.
Second, Councilman Wexler. Questions? Cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. 7778 passed, becomes ordinance number
7240.
7240. Thank you, Bess. Questions or comments on the committee and commission reports? Seeing none. Questions or comments on the consent calendar? It's a pleasure.
Motion to approve. Kewen.
Costello.
Motion by Councilman Kewen, second by Costello. Cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. The consent calendar has been approved. Next is a public hearing to consider approval of an ordinance providing for the levying of a property tax for the great city of O'Fallon, Missouri for the year 2025 for the purpose of general revenue and debt service. Should that be 2025 or 2026? 25. Okay. Ms. Botcher.
So tonight on the agenda before you, you will have the first reading of the ordinance for the property tax levy for the current year. The calculations have been completed, and I know we have some new council members, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what they are, how we calculate it. We have two different levies. We have a general fund levy, and the general fund levy goes into the general fund of the city and can be used towards anything that the city has desired. It can be used for other funds. That levy is, the way we calculate that is we take the property from the previous year. We can increase the levy, our revenue, based on the cost of living index that is set by the Missouri State Auditor's Office. So we take a look at that, and then we determine what our rate needs to be. Typically, what happens is we have to roll back our rate. Because we can't generate more revenue than what the cost of living index would generate. In this situation, for fiscal year 24, the general fund rate was 0.2909. For 2025, it's the ceiling is 0.2817. The purpose of revising the ordinance this evening is when we put the initial figures in there for the assessed valuations that we were provided from the county, and then placed the revised updated figures that we were provided after the Board of Equalization, the property tax rate dropped our ceiling. So we are required to drop that rate. And that's the change in the ordinance that will be on the agenda tonight, will be that dropped rate. And then for debt service fund, that's the second levy we have. That is a levy that we collect taxes on in an amount sufficient to pay our general obligation debt. Our general obligation debt is debt that we have gone out to the voters and requested them to approve certain items. We right now have two general obligation debt issues. One is for the Justice Center, and the other one is for the parks, when we built O'Day Park and did the improvements to Krekel and the pool. So those are our two. In 2024, we levied a rate of 0.1491, and that is per $100 of assessed valuation. In 2025, I am proposing a rate of 0.1401. This is not at the ceiling, so we could levy a higher rate. I go through and I evaluate the amount of reserve funds that we are allowed to keep and what we should keep in there, so we're not keeping too high of reserve funds. What that could do is that could come back where one year we have to drop our rate and the next year we have to increase our rate. I just want it at a level that's sufficient for us to have enough reserve, so if something happened, we could make our payments, which is what we're allowed to do. The way that our rate is set, we're set at pretty level debt service payments, so over time, that rate's gonna continue to drop as our assessed value of the city continues to go up. So the recommended full total for the tax levy for the current year is gonna be 0.4218, as compared to 2024, it was 0.4400. There is a memo that's provided in the agenda that gives you an idea of what that means to a homeowner. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Vicki? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Mr. Dienoff.
Thank you very much, members of the City Council. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dienoff, City Public Advocate. It seems like taxes, taxes, taxes. Everywhere we turn around, the subject of taxes comes up. Every government elected official and every government has their hand out at all levels of government. In our state capital in Jefferson City, there is a big push to abolish and get rid of a number of taxes, such as income tax, personal property tax. There's some good endeavors and good roadway making, and there's some issues that need to be worked on, which I'm hopefully will be part of, and we'll make those recommendations. There have been a number of committee hearings statewide that have been held by the interim committee on property tax reform. When it comes to taxes, our citizens deserve a break. Instead of our city keep having their hands out like a welfare state, wanting more and more and more and more and more of our taxes. Unfortunately for the general fund, Ms. Boschert, the finance director, is wanting the maximum tax levy ceiling per $100 of assessed valuation at 0.2824 cents per 100 assessed valuation. For the debt service fund, she's recommending 0.1401. Sales taxes for our city have broken records each and every year for the last 15 years. Mark my words, sales taxes have broken the records each and every year for the last 15 years. The assessed evaluation for I would say over half the properties in O'Fallon, according to the Board of Equalization, went up 15% to 30% of properties located within the confines of O'Fallon. I disagree with the worksheet as filed with the state auditor's office. I will be having a discussion either tomorrow or next week with the property tax manager of that division of the state auditor to ensure that there are no errors and no wrongdoing or miscalculation to our taxpayers. Citizens deserve a break. 60 cents of every dollar income in your households and everyone else's household goes for a fee or a tax at the federal, the state, the county, and the local level, including special districts. I'd like to recommend that the general fund be 0.2800
You have 15 seconds.
assessed valuation assessed by the county assessor. And for the general fund, I recommend 0.1300 per 100 assessed valuation. It's time the city abolish the property taxes for citizens.
Mr. Dinoff.
Those are my recommendations. Thank you.
We have no other speakers. Any other questions for Vicky? Seeing none. Brings us to Bill 7781, and you need to introduce 7781.1. Do we have such a motion?
Kewen.
Motion by Councilman Kewen. Do I have a second?
Thompson.
Second by Councilman Thompson. Councilman Kewen, please present 7781.1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bill number 7781.1, an ordinance providing for the levying of a property tax for the city of O'Fallon, Missouri for the year 2025 for the purposes of general revenue and debt service.
Thank you. Question or comment?
Mayor, did you want to go ahead and close the public hearing?
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Brings us to any questions or comments on Resolution B. Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Bibb.
Motion by Councilman Bibb, second.
Cascala.
Second by Cascella, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025B, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Spire, Missouri Incorporated, providing for a facility relocation and adjustment agreement in an amount not to exceed $252,321.
Motion second to approve.
Bibb.
Motion by Councilman Bibb, second.
Cascala.
Second by Cascella. Council members, cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. Resolution B has been approved. Questions or comments on Resolution C? Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Cascala.
Motion by Cascella, second.
Kewen.
Second by Councilman Kewen, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025C, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Riverside Technologies Incorporated, providing for the purchase, installation, and maintenance of security cameras.
Thank you. Motion second to approve.
Cascala.
Motion by Cascola, second.
Kewen.
Second by Councilman Kuhn. Cast your vote, people.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. Resolution C has been approved. Questions and comments on Resolution D? Ms. Taylor.
Sorry, I'm still coughing, but yeah, I had a problem with this one, and I really thought it was time that we reevaluated our bidding process. There was something that stood out to me in this project. One, it was that we only had 2 bidders, and 2, it was the cost between the 2 bids was nearly a 15% cost difference. And asking around and doing some reading that I've done, they say many expect a cost difference when they do bids like this from 5 to 10%. And while it said 15% wasn't unheard of, that it did raise a lot of flags and questions for me. I'm sorry, I'm coughing here, thank you. In my view, I think we should establish a minimum threshold for the amount of bidders that we have. I saw in some cities, including Town and Country, that they had at least 3 bidders on a project for projects, 3 bidders for projects 15K or more. And I'd like to see that threshold even higher, but I think 3 gives us at least a good, strong baseline. Because, if you have 3 bids and one is about 15% cost difference, you can kind of look and see, which way that goes, right? So, yeah, you can at least prompt you to ask the right questions, such as why is there such a large gap? But, it's just a lot of flags for me, so I just didn't feel comfortable voting yes for this one.
Mr. Bender?
We did go through the policy as required. So it was a public bid. It went on the Drexel website, went on the city's website. So it went through the normal processes to get the bids that we did get.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Kuhn?
Yeah, having worked in the construction industry for 35 years, I thought I'd offer a little insight. You can't force bidders to bid. I mean, it's a public bid. It's put out. If we put in a rule that says it has to be 3 or 4 or 5, we may end up putting something out to bid 3 or 4 or 5 times. And that will, A, delay the project, and B, each and every bid costs money because we have to put it in the paper, and we have to send out plans, and we have to have pre-con meetings or pre-bid meetings. Each and every one of these bids cost money. So I understand, would I like to see 3 or 4 or 5 bidders on every project? Absolutely. As far as the cost differential, yeah, 15% would raise questions, but the questions, I think, would be most readily answered when they're doing the qualification process. Particularly when you see a gap of greater than 5 or 10%, you want to make sure that the low bidder didn't miss something, or or maybe underbid something, or he underbid an alternate that got accepted, or something of that nature. So that's the purpose for the qualification process in these. And each, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Bender, but each and every one of our public bids goes through that qual process once the bids are opened and an apparent low is shown.
Well, that is correct. We do that internally, and sometimes we have the engineers that design the project also do a review of it too. So.
Absolutely. As a design engineer, I have sat on many, many, many of those qualification type meetings to try and determine if the low bidder in fact forgot something or made some sort of gross error or is using perhaps labor from another state or another country that we don't want working on public matters. So I hope that helps offer some insight on what's going on and why we don't always see 3 bidders.
Okay, anybody else? Mr. Bibb?
Thank you, Mayor. I too agree. It is great when you see multiple bids come in, and it is definitely a very good reason why we should be careful to not limit the number of bidders that we're attracting to our projects.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none. Motion second to introduce.
Kewen.
Motion by Councilman Kewen, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025D, a resolution authorizing an agreement with TGB Incorporated, providing for the well station numbers 3 and 4 chemical feed improvements project in an amount not to exceed $1,733,582.
Thank you. Most second to approve.
Ewan.
Motion by Councilman Kuhn, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Councilman, please cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
8 yes, 1 no. Resolution D has been approved. Questions or comments on Resolution E? Mr. Wexler.
I think maybe this will be directed maybe at Tom. Could you give a quick breakdown on why we requested 60,000 over the 25,000 that was on the workshop?
Yes, sir. Thank you. This resolution is authorizing funds for the project at filling the roundabout island at Weldon Springs and Crusher. We estimate that the project cost for the landscaping is about $25,000. We've also allocated in money to purchase the artwork that was shown during the workshop. We will not hit $60,000, but this is one of those projects because we don't know exactly what the artwork is going to cost. We need to make sure that we have the available funds because it has to be done at one time. We can't stop work and come back to you at a future time and say we need more money. So we are overestimating, and I'm quite confident we'll come in well under that number.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Ms. Taylor.
You know me, I just can't justify spending up to $60,000 on money simply because to make a roundabout look pretty, especially when many of our roads leading up to it kind of look like a minefield in areas. It just doesn't make sense to me to pour money into the cosmetics when the basics are in such poor shape. And I mean, I'm all for beautification and everything, but I believe that we should take care of our necessities before we spend money on our luxuries. So it's going to be a no for me.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion second to introduce?
Cascella.
Motion by Cascella. Do I have a second?
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025E, a resolution authorizing funding for landscaping and decorative elements at the Weldon Spring Road and Crusher Drive intersection in an amount not to exceed $60,000.
Motion second to approve?
Cascella.
Motion by Cascella, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Councilman, cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yes, 3 no. Resolution E's been approved. Questions or comments on Resolution F? Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Cascella.
Motion by Cascella, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025F, a resolution authorizing an agreement with PJC Development LLC, providing for water main upgrades in the Strawberry Farms subdivision.
Motion second to approve.
Cascella.
Motion by Cascella, second.
Wexler.
Second by Councilman Wexler. Councilmembers, please cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. Resolution F's been approved. Questions or comments on Resolution G? Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Ewan.
Motion by Councilman Kuhn, second.
Boyer.
Second by Councilman Boyer. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025G, a resolution authorizing an updated agreement with Segra, providing for improvements and expansion of the city's fiber network.
Motion second to approve.
Ewan.
Motion by Councilman Kuhn, second.
Boyer.
Second by Councilman Boyer. Councilmembers, please cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. Resolution G's been approved. Question comments on Resolution H? Seeing none, motion second to introduce.
Ewan.
Motion by Councilman Kuhn, second.
Cascella.
Second by Cascella. All in favor? Any opposed? Mr. O'Keefe.
Resolution 828, 2025H, a resolution authorizing supplemental agreement number 1 between the City of O'Fallon and Avison Young, Missouri Incorporated for construction management services for the Public Works and Fleet Maintenance Facility.
Thank you. Motion second to approve.
Kella.
Councilman Kuhn, second by Cascola. Councilmember, please cast your vote.
The voting's closed.
9 yes, 0 no. Resolution H has been approved. No further business. Meeting is adjourned at 8:10.
Well done, sir.